Welcome to Digital to Foot Traffic. I am Kevin Shi.
And I am Scott Jensen. We are digital marketers with massive experience in running brick and mortar stores.
Join us each episode as we explore the latest digital marketing trends and uncover strategies from the best in the industry. Welcome to another episode of Digital to Foot Traffic. I'm your host, Kevin Shi.
And I'm Scott Jensen. Glad to be back. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. We have a very special guest with us. I idolize her a lot. I've been going to the conferences. I do self-storage. And I've been hearing her speak. I bought most of her DVDs, right? And then I apply a lot of revenue management. Raise rent.
That's right.
And we're in the Self Storage Expo 2018 in Bangkok today. Unfortunately, Scott, you can't join, but we have her as a keynote speaker. And we've been picking her brain on everything. And I'm really glad that I can use some of her time to do a podcast with us because she knows marketing very well. She's in my business, and we can learn a lot from her. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Any latest technology trends you see?
Well, years ago we had everybody just using photographs. Yeah. Don't put all that copy out in your digital media; they're not going to read it.
Yeah.
And now we want them using short video because the short video is a lot more powerful and cheap. Everybody use your iPhone.
You mean on your website or
on your website in your email marketing? That's why I asked him on WeChat, can you put video?
Yeah.
Because a customer testimonial video is more powerful than any ad you can do.
Really?
And you shoot it right in the store.
Okay.
Or when a customer gets a referral fee.
Yeah.
So I shoot a quick video of you getting your referral fee, holding the check.
Do you have a marketing team doing this, or you just have like a contest with your site manager?
No, the managers do this as part of their daily job.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And that's shown to work very well.
Yes. Okay. And then, now doing Facebook ads and...
How do you like Facebook, social media for storage? Traditionally, storage has always been search-based. How do you like social media?
Well, the reason we beat the REITs is because we don't have only one model. They only have the website.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we have the...
That's what I'm going
to talk about this afternoon. Yeah. We have the website, but we also have events and marketing.
Okay.
Which the managers are out every week meeting and greeting all the shop owners. And
you form alliances with them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we do a business of the month. Okay. Where I advertise your business on my social media for free.
Wow, okay.
As a service to my local community.
Okay.
And everybody who responds on that Facebook post with the magic word, like if I'm advertising the local pizza shop, the magic word is pizza.
Okay.
And everybody who responds is entered in a drawing that the pizza shop owner gives away.
Okay.
$50 worth of food or whatever the prize is.
Okay. And the manager responsible for that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's worked very well.
Yeah.
The REITs don't do that. That's too local.
No. And they can't train their people to do the programs we do.
Maybe that's a good debate you should have, Scott.
Because it's so intensive, our training programs. And we have won the national award 5 years in a row from ISS for Best Manager Training.
Wow. So, how long is manager training?
Well, startup is 2 weeks, phase 1 and 2. Then we skip maybe a week or 10 days, and phase 3 is marketing.
Okay.
And then they have the comeback training from their mentor, at the end of the first month. And then they're being reported in the company stats that everybody sees how you're doing.
Yeah.
There's a marketing stat sheet. Yeah. There's a KPI stat sheet. Yeah. So, everybody's seeing how you're doing, and you're seeing, who's the good one.
What's some of the good KPIs you guys have?
Like, of course, the ins and outs.
Rental, ins and outs. But that depends on locations as well.
Well, we report these data for all the stores so that they can see what our company benchmarks are.
Yeah.
So delinquency, box sales per lease, conversion ratios.
Okay. So Scott, can you introduce yourself with Ann?
Oh, yeah. So Scott, as Kevin has just said, I was at Extra Space Storage for 7.5 years. I ran digital marketing and then the call center and then revenue management and then non-real estate strategic business. So basically looking down the road the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years on what storage was going to become and trying to position Extra Space in a place that it could take advantage of those things. So we talked about then we researched things like managerless self-storage facilities, and we did a lot of work on that and set some of those up. We did some things with kind of creating space for self-driving cars that can go back and recharge at night, because storage has a lot of kind of open roof space and adding solar to a bunch of those places. So spent a lot of time putting solar on self-storage facilities. And then since then, been doing stuff like this with Kevin, where I've been consulting in self-storage, have a handful of clients. Kevin's the furthest one away in Hong Kong. I have a handful here in the States, from South Carolina to Phoenix to Los Angeles, and a couple places in between, a couple in Seattle. We're just going to give some thoughts and direction on where storage is going and what's happening there, and try to help out best I can.
Okay. Sounds exciting.
Pretty good.
Are you in Utah?
I am, actually. And it is fantastic here. How about you? What have you been up to?
Well, here on this trip to Bangkok's been so fun because I had time to go sightseeing and also to get some clothes made, which I thought was pretty exciting. And it's been very warm here, incredibly warm. It was 104 the day we went sightseeing to the reclining Buddha. Wow. So I said, I don't need a lot more outdoor sightseeing during the day, but have packed in as many things as I can see. And then for the rest of this year, let's see, I'm going to be working in Montana. Okay. I'm going to Arkansas. Okay. We have now a managed portfolio that spans the entire country, so it keeps me jumping. And I'm down in Fort Lauderdale every month for our robotics store. So
you have a robotics store?
We have the only robotics store in the world. You'd never build another one.
So it's manless?
No. It has a full staff. But
what does the robot do?
The robot takes the automobiles and the 10 by 20 storage units up into the sky, so to speak.
So it's one door, and then everything just...
There's 7 loading bays.
I heard about those.
2 for the cars, and we re-imaged that property last year, and it's now turned and going in the right direction. A bank owns it.
How much does it cost to construct that?
Oh, you'd never build another one. It was probably about $34 million, and they don't even support the system that moves the stuff around anymore. And there is no alternate conveyance system.
So it breaks down, you're in trouble.
So we baby it. We scavenged the other one that was built. U-Haul bought and turned it into regular storage. So we were able to buy their crane and keep it for spare parts and stuff. So
Well, let me just do a quick intro for the program, and then we can just continue our talk.
Sure.
And I think we have a lot to talk about. One thing that we want to talk about later on in the show is N beats the REITs every year since you quit, actually, Scott. So maybe that's the reason. So we're gonna have a good debate on that one. Yeah, Scott, you want to start some of the questions or?
Yeah, let's do it. So, and we're talking a little bit about this, but tell us, how is the Self Storage Expo going so far for you?
Well, it's fascinating to hear the challenges that these operators are facing. You know, it's deja vu to the early 90s for me and what we were facing. And the thing I find kind of the most odd and that nobody's really given the answer to yet is the fact that they perceive that it's all about price. Well, that's the only way to lose the game fast, is to only be selling price. Yeah. So I've had a lot of fun talking to operators about don't sell price, sell value, and how that you do that. So that's been a very engaging conversation. But looking at how they develop and, the difference in the offices and the customer service programs, and it's just fascinating.
I absolutely agree. I think you are right on, and it sounds very familiar. It's a big problem that I think business owners and marketers have had. Let's talk about that one for just a little bit more. How are you how are you speaking about value-based selling in marketing specifically? And we're talking about, and Kevin and I focus here quite a bit about local businesses and trying to sell to their local constituents. How are you talking about value-based selling in those markets? And self-storage is right up that alley, right?
Well, Kevin and I were just speaking a few minutes ago about some standard programs we have for our managed customers and our own stores that we own, is that every single week our managers are going to leave the office, and we're a little sorry about the crying baby in the background, but it happens. But the managers are going to leave the office and go out and visit local shops. They're going to visit the schools, they're going to visit the banks and the universities and start spreading the message about what self-storage is. It requires you to have met someone in person in order to be successful in getting to engage them digitally. Because if they don't know who you are, they're not going to read your stuff. They don't care. They don't have any idea who you are. But once I've met you personally and made a good impression, that's all we were trying to do at the beginning, you will more likely open an interesting digital message, whether it's an email or, as we were talking earlier here, WeChat or something like that. So we want to have a cycle where it begins with visits, then it goes to a digital follow-up, then it combines inviting you to events at our store that you'd be interested in coming to, and then on to featuring you as our business of the month, which we do for free to engage the local audience in services that they're going to need, because we want to be known as the trusted community resource. And in our digital content, we're not telling you the price of our 10 by 10. That's the fast way to get rid of you. We're telling you about what's happening in the community this weekend, and don't forget to sign up for our big charity event and fundraiser that it features, food and games and things for the kids, or our big Santa event. We set up a Santa's workshop inside our model units at the store, and and I furnish all the gift wrap and tape and tags and cookies and warm cider, and they get to come and wrap all their Christmas gifts for free. And I have all the merchants in my area put up my poster, send your customers to wrap for free, and that makes them look good. And then once they're there, I rent them a Santa closet, because in the winter we usually have a lot of vacant small units because there's no college students at that time. So rent a Santa closet. I'll give you special access on Christmas Eve, and then one Saturday during the month of December, we actually bring in Santa. You can bring your pets or your kids or whoever you want to photograph with, and we give you a photograph in a holiday frame. So that's just an example of, you've got to engage the community, educate. Here they have to educate the community. They don't even know what storage is. So we were talking yesterday with some folks from another country saying, you should go to the school and have, if it's a walking distance to the store, have the teachers bring all the children on a field trip.
To the storage.
And hide different prizes behind the storage room doors. And give each child a number, and then they get to open it and have a prize.
That's a good game.
And then send each child home with a goodie bag to mom and dad. Oh, here's what we did exciting today. And then make a donation to the school. Like buy them a projector or give them whatever they need for their playground, or whatever, to engage the community and get them to help tell your story. So you take personal commitment and involvement, add digital follow-up to it, and then your invitations to your events get opened and people are engaged, and you're not having that high bounce rate, you're having a higher open rate. So that's how we do it.
That's fantastic. I loved the two things about this. One is that just the sheer number of ideas and creative ways you've come up. I mean, you just listed 7 or 8 things that you've kind of come up with to get people to know you. I think the piece that comes after that, right immediately after, is the consistency, right? Because it's not that you can send something out one time, and we talk about this quite a bit in marketing, that it's got to be a consistent message over and over. Because we all know this. We all get emails, and we think, oh, that's interesting. And then we get distracted, and it's 5 or 6 days later, and we clean out our inbox, and it's like, I don't care about that anymore. And so you've got to be there quite a bit. So when we work with, for example, dentists, we say, hey, you can't send out just one campaign and expect that you're going to get a whole bunch of customers from it. You've got to be there for a couple of years so that when somebody needs a dentist, that you're the one who comes to mind, or they recognize it. It can't be just a one and done. No, that's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, we say that people don't buy storage on impulse. They only buy it when they need it. So we can circumnavigate around the REITs' huge pay-per-click budgets by having them have full awareness of us, need hits. They don't even go online. They come straight to us. I knew you'd appreciate that, Scott.
Yes, I do. Something I use to my full advantage.
So I gotta ask the obvious question. I mean, it's very good that how you guys beat the REIT consistently for 10 years?
Since 2012.
Yeah. How do you do it? I mean, they have a really, really big budget. They dominate the first page. I mean, their SEO is huge.
Well, it's a funny little thing. If you teach a manager the 1, 2, 3 of revenue management, and you make them do it over and above what you can do in the home office.
Okay.
they can maximize that income and beat the computer, so to speak. Because they know, this is my last contractor unit. And even though the push rate says, and the street rate might be $485, the push rate says $5.25, but that manager knows she can get $610 for that.
Yeah.
She's going to get $610 for it. And then instead of letting people get notices for rent increases and then not really receive any follow-up, we teach them how to win the day in the follow-up, like we were talking about earlier. Okay. So we drive budgets just like every other management company in the industry, and we want to continue to cut our operating costs using low-cost technology and drive our bottom-line improvement and sales improvement by using an on-the-ground, teach the managers the secrets of the 1, 2, 3, and then overlay what technology can do for us, which just program. Anybody that gets past any of that gets picked up, and you get a better revenue increase.
What would you say, despite the REITs having their big size and their big budget, what would you say some of their inherent weaknesses are in self-storage because of their size? And maybe that's how you pick a fight with them?
That is. Yeah. Well, we hope it's not a fight, but there's room for everybody.
I guess because too big has its flaws.
Yes. Yeah. Because as Scott knows probably better than anyone, they put a lot of that right into that pay-per-click and website program. And we put some into that because we can't outbid them. We don't have enough money to outbid them. So we do have some pay-per-click, but we also do this on-the-ground marketing. We do events. We do more training. So our managers probably get more training than other companies. And we're pretty proud of that. But making sure that they're more nimble. Because we can move faster. We're more flexible. So, not me personally, of course, but stores.
Scott,
you are 100% right, and this goes, Kevin, speaking right to our audience in this case. So you're right. As a REIT, and probably for some of our audience, we should clarify what that is. So it's a real estate investment trust, and it's in the storage industry, and they make up the biggest operators in the space. So companies like Public Storage and my old employer, Extra Space Storage, and some of the others that are out there are REITs. And they have, you're right, big budgets, and they have access to some incredible tools. But we knew in those cases that a really smart operator, individual smart operators, or a group of that had a handful of locations would be much more nimble. They could outflank and outmaneuver what we could do from a corporate office that was 2,000-3,000 miles away in some very significant ways. And we were very aware of that, and to the point where we spent quite a bit of time studying and trying to understand, are there ways that we can do some of those things from a corporate level? And in reality, it's really tough. I think it's a lesson to the individual operators, whether that be in storage or if it's any other business that's kind of battling against some bigger players, whether it be pet stores or anything else. There's some things that you can do in the community that the bigger operators can't. You have to play to your strengths, and that's exactly what Anne's describing right now. It's fantastic.
And that's why you guys have third-party management to buy them out, right? Or I shouldn't say that.
I think, as Anne said, in this case, and it's not in every instance, but in this case, there's plenty of room for a lot of people in the space. Saturation is going to become an issue at some point, and it has been in the past, and then we overbuild specific markets, and then everything catches up, and then it goes down again. It's a constant kind of ebb and flow. But there is, I think, in any business, there's some room for smart, passionate, dedicated people to be successful.
Yeah, we call that, Scott, becoming a category of one instead of being one of a million. And, even like you used an example of a pet shop, just a little tiny independent pet shop. There's so many ways you can reach out to the community because you're already paying your overhead, you're paying your salaries, you got a computer behind the desk. Use the tools that you have. Don't sit and wish, if only I had the budget extra space had, or if only I had this magic whatever. You can go out and engage people all around you, go to business club meetings, spread the word, do clever things, go viral. Wild videos are the best marketing message that you have. Just crazy, wacky stuff. Use Use your iPhone and get a little movie that people. The more realistic it is, the more they're going to watch it.
So you shake your phone and then it gets
absolutely.
more.
Absolutely. If it looks too slick, then it's too slick. They want to see something real that might be right there in their neighborhood, or incredibly funny or clever, or So if I owned a pet shop, I'd be having a video each day of my favorite animal. Here's the animal of the day, and then I'd be taking them to schools to help the children who need comfort. I'd take them to hospitals. I'd have my name out there every way I could. Okay. I'd sponsor dog walkers. I'd do whatever it took, before I gave it up, so to speak, to tell my story.
So, Scott, you got another question?
And you were killing me. You just gave off like 5 good things for a pet shop to do that are that easy and that easy to right away that they can do. And you're absolutely right. So now, as I've kind of moved away from kind of the bigger operators in some space, this is the thing that I'm always talking about: is how do you ingratiate yourself in the community? So my question is, give us an example of what you think is kind of your all-star, or your top kind of community, localized perspective that you've gained that you use to your advantage. So what I'm looking for is there's a playbook out there that's kind of everybody knows how to do. You've got to do a little paid search, a little SEO. You've got to have your revenue management systems in place. But you know your community so well. What have you learned from being out in your community that has changed how you've operated your business?
First of all, most small business people, if they're smart, are joining the local Chamber of Commerce. And then they drop the ball. So if you're paying for a membership, get back out of it what you're paying. Get your butt off your chair and into every chamber meeting that happens. When you go marketing or any place to tell your story, if you're only taking paper goods to hand out, they're getting put in the trash. So you have to add something three-dimensional when you give a message to someone.
A souvenir or something?
It could be a promo. We use like little stadium plastic cups. We use our stylus pens. We staple pieces of candy to flyers. It has to have a third dimension to it to get that split second of awareness you want from somebody to what you're trying to give them. So we do jars of candy to apartment leasing agents, and every month bring our little toy sand pail and shovel and fill up their candy bar bag again. We put our referral card.
You're killing them, man. You're killing them.
Well, we put, a little apothecary candy jar has a roll top. You can buy these at the dollar store. Well, if you take that top off and put your referral card in the top, it's always there on top of that candy jar, reminding that manager, I'm going to give you $100 everybody you send to me while you eat my candy. So, you have to engage and use simple tools. So we probably buy as much candy as almost any business I know, because it's an easy thing for the managers for a little stadium cup, go online to Uline, order cellophane bags and ribbons, fill it full of goodies and chocolate candies, tie a bow on it, and when I present it to you, it's like I made a special gift for you. You're more likely to then receive it and know who I am.
Wow.
That's fantastic. So I have a follow-up question to that. So you've managed multiple locations, right? Do you have an example of something that works in one location but not another location, or vice versa?
Well, there are some very good examples. For example, we like to start a networking club at our big stores that have our conference rooms and business centers. And I can think of one in London, Ontario that I did at one that won a Facility of the Year back in, I think they were 2011. And that woman, last July, had 150 people come through her conference room.
Wow.
She is doing exactly what I trained her to do with it, getting people in there, because the more people that come in, the more boxes I sell, the more referrals I get. Yay for business.
Is it free, the conference?
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then I have another manager who just, I can't seem to move him off ground zero with getting that networking club started and using that conference room the way that it's designed.
Yeah.
So you really have to, it's all based on the team delivering on the idea. But when it comes to events, we've probably done 120 different kinds of events.
Wow, okay.
So like in the bayous of Louisiana, down in Belle Chase, we have a giant fall festival. It's right around Halloween, but it's called the Fall Festival.
Okay.
And those people turn out in droves. We get McGruff the crime dog, the local police and fire people come. We give prizes. We play games. It's like 300 or 400 people come.
Killing them, man. Noah's going to have to talk to you soon.
And we, of course, don't charge for it. It's a community day. Yeah. And we try to tie in a charity with any event that we have on the site. So last year at our up and running 56 stores, we had 40,958 people come to our stores for events.
Okay.
That's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
And how's the rent rate because of that?
Well, and it helps in the retention and faster lease up. And we spent 2.2% of our actual income on all of our marketing and advertising, including our web. That's about 25 cents a square foot a year.
That's very low.
And we're doing all this crazy wild stuff and getting our managers visited 23,000 businesses last year.
23,000.
23,000.
Wow.
And 40,000 people came to our parties.
What would you say, sorry to interrupt?
The only ones that fail, Scott, I'll tell you this real quick, are the managers who fail to plan. They don't follow our playbook.
Wow.
So that answers your first question. It takes 90 to 120 days to pull off a successful event and plan
90 days?
Well, yeah, because you got to start telling about it, arrange for it, make sure you've thought about the follow-up, how you're advertising it. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you, Kevin.
Sorry. Of all the people that you meet in the community, what would you say, what's the percentage of them or their friends eventually renting from you during that lifetime, like 4 or 5 years down the road? What would you say?
I don't know how to exactly answer that question, but I can tell you that, for example, last year 34% of our business came from internet, which included social media and Google searches and our website and all the other stuff. But 30.5% of our business came from repeat, referred, event, and marketing customers.
Wow.
We call it REM. Repeat, referral, events, and marketing. And then, of course, like 32% or something drive-by. So, we get that juicy extra 30% that nobody else is getting. They're probably getting 12%. So, and those leases cost me the least of anything. A referred customer or somebody who's seen us at one of our events. Oh, yeah, they're so impressive. So clean, it's so bright, So that's what we pay about $67 a lease and have a lifetime customer value of about $3,800.
Wow.
It's fantastic. There is so much from this that I am taking away, and that our listeners should be taking away from this but the thing that's impressed me. Not most, but one of the two things that I think stand out and I know we have a short period of time here tonight, but a couple things that stand out to me. One is you have done a fantastic job. Some of the stuff that you're talking about doesn't come naturally, and I've been doing this long enough to know that I'm hearing you've paid a lot of attention to your customers. You're listening to your customers. And the second thing is, and it's kind of 2 in 1, is that you're giving stats and you're understanding, while all these things are great events, you're tracking and measuring things. This is not all by accident or not happening at all. You know exactly where things are going and why and how. And it's absolutely changing how you're moving, because you didn't get to this point by accident. You came through it through an iterative process where trial and error, and you've learned as you've gone along by tracking and monitoring what you're doing. This is fantastic.
Thank you, Scott.
I got 1 or 2 more questions, and we can wrap it up. This podcast is about digital marketing. Okay. So as a smaller, more nimble operator, how do you allocate your digital spending? And I see a lot of programs you do with the local local events and all that. How do you tie that digitally? Do you make a blog about it and then you link it to customers? Because what I heard from Scott is unrelated businesses, if you start backlinking like that and they bounce a lot, that's actually negative to your SEO right now, right?
Yeah, you don't want any holes in your bucket, so to speak, going out.
So how are you tying that to the digital presence?
Not off the website.
Okay.
It's through social media.
Okay.
So I'm
Facebook.
Promoting your business.
Yeah.
I'm telling you local happenings. I'm keeping you informed about what's happening down at the grammar school. I'm, giving you valuable content.
Okay.
And people don't realize how easy it is to repost valuable free content.
Yeah.
Just your Chamber of Commerce, your City Hall, they have websites.
Yeah.
And as long as you're giving credit to the original source, our managers can pick and choose that. Now, we do make some templates for them to follow, and we use Constant Contact.
Okay.
So it's a email marketing platform. And they can insert their own video. Of course, they insert their masthead, their logo, but we draft up some stuff for them to kind of follow along with. But we proved, like, I go every month to the robotic facility down in Fort Lauderdale, and I work with them directly. Yeah. So I took their open rate from less than 20% to 38%.
Really?
Simply by following some simple...
40% for emails?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, the open rate, to quit getting so many bounces and engage the audience. Okay. So we do a newsletter. It includes videos. It has a business of the month, so some consistency, as Scott mentioned, marketing consistency is everything. Yeah. So, we use Constant Contact. We use Facebook ads. We do Facebook Boost. Some of the managers do Instagram or Pinterest, but we don't require it. And some of them do LinkedIn. But Facebook is pretty much in the U.S. markets just about the best platform. Okay. We've proven that our customer base is 60% over the age of 46.
Okay.
Well, that's the big Facebook area, So
young people use Instagram.
So now, like our college areas, those are the managers doing, Instagram and Pinterest and stuff like that. So, but by and large, across our platform, it's 68% of the customers are over 46 years old. So the managers do Facebook.
Wow. Scott, you got any questions for Ann?
Loads, but I know we're running out of time here. But Ann, this is fantastic, and I hope that our listeners are
Let's do a part two
hearing
sometime.
what you're saying.
And
what's happening here as far as one, your enthusiasm, two, you're just doggedness and dedication to getting this right, and three, I guess how you're this isn't an accident. You don't have success by happening into it. You've actually gone through, you're doing the work, you've got a plan, you've named your marketing programs, you know where the information is coming from, you know where the customers are coming from, where you're spending your money. This isn't an accident, it's a program and a plan that I think is fantastic. And I'm like I said, we've met before, and I'm always excited to talk to you because you are just absolutely incredible.
Thank you. I really have appreciated this time today with you guys.
Yeah, I think we should invite Ann back sometimes. I'm actually inviting her to Hong Kong next year. Maybe you can come along too, Scott.
Yeah, we'll tag team, Scott.
Fantastic.
We can do a skiing trip first, So, any last words or advice for our listeners who does retails and digital? Any things you can give?
Well, I think the most important thing I ever heard was from a woman who had her PhD in marketing, and she spoke to a group I was at maybe 35 years ago. And marketing is creating awareness. Yeah. That is it. Yeah. It is not sales. Yeah. So don't be afraid to market. Yeah. And however you can, with whatever tools you have, create awareness. Yeah. That'd be it.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap it up today. And if anybody of our customers wants to reach you for anything, if any storage operators want to use your service, how can we reach you?
You can reach us in Atlanta, Georgia at universalstoragegroup.com.
Yeah. You do third-party management?
We do third-party management, consulting all over the globe. Lisa, we've won 11 Facility of the Year awards, and the last 5 I designed myself. Okay. So we do startups and all sorts of stuff. Okay. If it's storage, we're doing it.
Wow. Okay.
Well, call me.
Please look Ann up in our podcast, and then we hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll talk again.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Digital to Foot Traffic. Join our mailing list at digitaltofoottraffic.com for more of our digital insights and strategies.
Leave us a review on iTunes or your favorite Android apps and subscribe so we'll show you the second we launch a new episode.